I love it. I think it's mint. It's like just like a random little spot of nature and niceness in the middle of a big city, isn't it? And it's loads of greenery. See loads of animals.
The local community staff, the artwork, studios, children's focus, industrial heritage. You know, it's brilliant. It's well done, and local people are involved.
So what I like about the Ouseburn Valley, it's a bit of a kind of sanctuary within the city of Newcastle, and it connects the outside areas with the inside. There's also kind of a connection to the local heritage. There's sort of nice cafes and pubs and small businesses that are springing up to reflect the industrial heritage of the North East.
So we are here today on this lovely sunny day at Woolsington Ponds near the source of the Ouseburn. The Environment Agency are interested in the Ouseburn because the Ouseburn is a major tributary of the River Tyne, a really important tributary. It's got a lot of different pressures on it. These are varied and complex, so these include diffuse and point source pollution, misconnections, urban runoff from highways, and also other sources of pollution as well. We've funded the work on the Ouseburn because these pressures have meant that the Ouseburn is actually a failing water body for WFD. So this means that due to various pressures, the Ouseburn doesn't meet good ecological status. The Environment Agency's objective for WFD is for all watercourses to achieve good status by 2027, so we obviously want this for the Ouseburn. This project also fits in with our 25-year environment plan, which includes having clean water, reduction in pollution, and also a thriving area for people and wildlife.
This Ouseburn project very much links to one of the roles for NECO, which is about bringing people and organisations together to get stuff off the ground, to make things happen. We believe that if you bring people together, not only can you achieve far more because you're bringing people's skills, capacity, resources, knowledge, but also all the different partners can encourage each other to be more ambitious and to go further and to go faster, which is really important because at the end of the day this is a climate emergency.
The Ouseburn River is key to all of the climate initiatives that we're looking at in the Ouseburn. It's been central to the industry of the place for hundreds of years. As a trust we try to represent the local community really well. The Ouseburn is quite unique in that it's a community of interest rather than just a residential community. So we represent people who live here, people who work here, and then people who visit. So we work very closely with a lot of local volunteers to look after the green spaces, and then we try to work closely with businesses as well to change their perspective on what they can do to help. One of the issues we worked on recently was around plastic-free Ouseburn. So we did a lot of work with Surfers for Sewage to influence business use of single-use plastics and try and eradicate that from people's business models. The Trust's currently redeveloping its environment strategy for the valley. So we're looking at what more we can do to help manage the woodland, help look after the open spaces and those often in between overlooked spaces, and indeed the river for future visitors and residents and people who work here.
We started our Biodiversity Project in 2018, so therefore we set off with plans for protecting our open blue and green spaces for the benefit of the community. We actually look to improve the general health and well-being of people without affecting the natural habitat for wildlife. And consequently, following housing development, we've been looking at joining up wildlife corridors which have been affected by construction work. We're looking to enhance them, maintain them and connect them across the parish to the broader areas. We've decided on a federated approach, effectively built around the support of the landowner and engaging with all the respective agencies, Environmental Agency, wildlife trusts and local expertise such as Groundwork, North Eastern Cumbria, Tyne Rivers Trust, to come up with a solution.
We thought, let's do some community engagement, so we issued a survey based on what people said. It's sort of helped us with putting together a management plan. We're working with the landowner, Northumberland Estates, and the building consortium, because the area around is going to have lots of housing built, up to 1,500 houses in pretty close proximity. So it's an opportunity for the community to make some improvements and future-proof it.
It's ideal for improving mental health and well-being. It's ideal for conservation schemes. But there's some short-term work to be done, as I said. And the first thing that we undertook was to clear the water soldier vegetation from the main pond to try to put oxygen back into the water, which feeds back into the Ouseburn, and hopefully that will encourage breeding water birds to come back. And the knock-on effect of that is significant. We've got to basically accommodate people and nature at the same time. And that's not easy to do.
So we've been working here at Walsington Ponds and along the whole Ouseburn to control invasive species and do some bank protection works to reduce the sediment going into the river. We're an environmental charity who improve the Tyne catchment through kind of tackling pollution, practical conservation and education as well. The current work around the Ouseburn has all been around water quality and pollution control. So we've just finished a project called Better Ouseburn, and one of the main projects within that was the creation of a muck bay. So we worked with Ouseburn Farm at the bottom of the Ouseburn and made this muck bay to basically stop muck from going into the river. We also have a lot of monitoring going on along the Ouseburn. So we have 6 water quality monitoring sites, as well as a river fly monitoring site, and that's just a really easy way for us to work with volunteers through citizen science to monitor the water quality. A huge pressure is sediment input and pollution. It's an urban river, so there's all sorts going on. So controlling a little bit of a bank and reducing the sediment will just increase the water clarity and the habitat available to everything living in the river.
Hi, I'm Helen Hornby. I work for Groundwork North Eastern Cumbria as Programme Development Manager, and I'm delighted to be involved in the Ouseburn Project. I primarily head up the Tyne Partnership on behalf of the Trust, and we look at restoring North East waterways, primarily focusing on the Tyne. We're looking at the fact that it is such an industrial waterway, that it's been heavily modified during its industrial focus, and that these activities of humans have led to a decline in its ecological and environmental status. The Tyne Estuary Partnership is a strong strategic partnership that aims to restore the river corridor, looking at ways in which we can incorporate nature-based solutions to provide habitat and the suitable environment to help restore biodiversity and aid species recovery locally.
Because of the added pressure of climate change, the issues on the Ouseburn are becoming all more important, and the Environment Agency really want to work with local communities and businesses to make sure that the Ouseburn is an even better place to live, work and visit.
So we will be doing lots of activities along the River Ouseburn, so if anybody's interested in getting involved, they can just get in touch with the Trust and say that they want to come out and volunteer.
It doesn't matter if you've never done Think Environmental before, because there are always other organisations who have, and we can help, Nico and Von can help link those two groups together.
We want to do a lot of raising awareness and education as well, so we've got a lot of schools kind of in the pipeline to do an education project with along the Ouseburn. So things like salmon in the classroom, mayfly in the classroom, just taking children out onto the riverbank and teaching them why rivers are so important.
I think there's a real opportunity for this project and projects like this to both raise awareness of climate change and what can be done locally to try and reverse climate change or adapt to climate change. And so the more we can enthuse and engage local communities and local people to care about their local environment and to take steps to protect it, then the better.